Hey, this is Greg. How you doing? Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Uncut Friday. Normally, if you're new to the channel, what we talk about is business and investment. But every Friday, I do, or I try to do, a non-cut, uncut version of something where there's no editing, and I'm just sort of free-forming it, which I'm doing right now. And I try and also go, maybe enter into topics that are sort of not in the center of the business and investment and markets type orientation that this channel has. So here goes. And what I'm going to be talking about today is, if you want more success out of life, follow these simple steps and you can achieve it. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay? So I want to say at the outset, these concepts are, have been sort of incorporated into my thinking, but I did not originate them. They were originated from a book called Reality Transurfing. The author is a gentleman named Vadim Zeland. He happens to be a Russian physicist who wrote this book. The book is very long, it's very involved. I'm not going to attempt in this video to give a book review or anything like that. I'm taking one concept out of the book and just talking about it as a way to achieve more success. Something that's really worked for me and I found very valuable, and I'll try to impart it onto you, and hopefully you'll find it valuable also. I also want to give a shout out to a fellow named Brian Scott, who has an incredible YouTube channel. I'll put both the name of the book, the author, and the channel in the description. His name is Brian Scott, and he's the one that really turned me on to this book, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Excellent channel. Check it out sometime if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Okay. Now, Zeland is a Russian physicist, and all of his concepts in this book, Reality Transurfing, come out of his training as a physicist. Okay. And I know because in college I was a science undergraduate, and I took a lot of physics, and I took learned a lot about quantum mechanics and all sorts of string theory and all sorts of wild concepts in physics. And I can tell you that this book really borrows from science, and that's the thing that interests me so much about it. And I found it so not only interesting but practical. Now, some of these concepts are going to sound a little abstract, and I know on YouTube people have like a 3-second attention span, so I hope you don't get bored with this and your eyes don't glaze over and roll back in your head and you start swallowing your tongue or something. If you find it boring, just turn it off. But if you listen through to the end, I think you'll get some value out of this. Okay. So the one thing I'm going to talk about is the concept of how you can more effectively achieve your goals. And this is something that's talked about extensively in the book, but I'm just taking one little part of it right now. Again, Zeland takes these concepts right out of physics, right out of quantum mechanics, and basically we all live in a field of energy, okay? And one of the basic rules in physics is energy cannot be either created or destroyed, all right? We all, as human beings, as living beings, we're constantly giving out a frequency, okay? It can also be called an aura, right? I'm sure you've heard of this before. And generally, the other concept that is critical here is he has this concept, and again, this has been to some extent proven experimentally in physics, where in something called the alternative space, it's a space that includes all possible outcomes of a particular situation, okay? And what this concept says is that all possible outcomes both in the present, in the future, and in the past, exist in the alternative space at the same time. And it's all happening right now. In other words, in a way, there's no such thing as the past or the present. Everything happens right now, and the past and the present and the future are all contained within the same space. Okay, alternative space. Just try to go with me here. Most people, and I think I've noticed this myself many times, you ever notice how you try to accomplish something and you try so hard and you do everything possible, and no matter what you do and no matter what you try, it just doesn't happen? It just doesn't happen. Like it's just people say, oh, it wasn't meant to be or whatever. And then there are other situations where you hardly try, you hardly do anything, and it just happens. Okay? And I've always wondered about this. Like, why does this exist? Why is it that things that I've wanted the most and things that I've tried the hardest to make happen just don't happen? Okay? And this is explained in the following concept. There's this concept that he talks about, which, I've heard many times before, the concept of the mind and the heart, which can also be interpreted as the subconscious, right? The mind and the heart. And then he talks about intention. And he distinguishes between intention and desire. Okay? Desire is when you really want something and you expend all this energy and importance to the achievement of that goal. That's desire. Intention is different. Intention is more pure in the sense that when you have an intention to do something, you've already decided that you're going to do it, and you just do it. Okay? There's a tremendous difference between those two, the energy that you're giving out when you intend to do something and when you just desire something or desire to have something really badly. So the way this technique works is you have to, number one, decide on a goal. Okay, so let's say you decide on some particular goal at work. It doesn't matter what it is. The moment you decide on the goal, you no longer focus on the goal, but you focus on the means of getting to the goal, the action involved. The second thing you do is eliminate importance. In other words, cleanse the achievement of that goal, cleanse out the desire. Because the desire to have something assumes that you do not have it now. And if you're giving out that energy, it will impede you from achieving that particular goal. And if you reduce importance, and he uses a great example here. He says, you should approach your goal with the same indifference that you would approach going to a mailbox and getting your mail. In other words, when you decide you're going to get your mail, you don't have intense desire. You don't, want to achieve that goal. You simply go outside and get your mail. You simply take what is yours. And that's what the concept is here. You reduce importance, you purify your intention, and you simply take the action to take what is already yours. So when you're approaching goals, approach it from the standpoint of it's already happened, because it has already happened in the alternative space. Everything that ever will be, everything that ever happened in the past has already happened in the alternative space, in an alternative that could be realized by you if you transmit the energy that corresponds to that outcome. So the first step in doing that is assuming You already have it. It already exists within your realm. It's not something in the future, it's now. Right now. You already have it. And you're approaching the acquisition of that goal, or I hate to use manifestation because then it sounds like law of attraction, which I think most of the law of attraction is bullshit. This sounds like law of attraction, but there's much more of a scientific basis for it, which is what attracted me to it. So the elimination of importance, the decision to have, which turns on intention and purifies intention, and then you calmly and certainly just take the steps necessary to have that goal, whatever it is. Now, the thing that makes this difficult is that, let's say when you're dreaming, and he uses, I don't want to get too far into the book because it'll throw out all these concepts that you'll be like, what? Greg's losing his mind. No, but when you're dreaming, for example, again, Zeland says that you enter the alternative space and things are materialized in dreams instantaneously. Okay, there's no lag, right? However, in the physical world, things slowly materialize. And so the difficulty with this technique is that it's difficult to maintain the indifference, lower the importance, and just calmly go toward your goals. But I can tell you, I've already used this and it works. You know, I mean, it's all about intentionally tuning your energy and the energy that you're giving off, the energy that you're emitting, to the sector in the alternative space that corresponds to your goal. And it's pretty wild. I mean, it's a wild concept, but it's this part of it is relatively simple, right? The other thing I wanted to say that I think is really important that ties into this is, and this is what I'm going to challenge you with for the coming couple weeks. I don't know, I think if you tried to do it for 30 days, it would be fantastic. But what most people do in life is they have a certain idea. Zeland calls it a script. They have a certain script that they're following in their mind, right? And let's just review, again, coming from the book, but you know, many people watching this probably will understand this. There's two parts to yourself, right? There's your mind, which is the thinking, rational part of your mind, which guides most of your actions. And then there's the self, or the heart, which is the same as the subconscious, which doesn't think. It doesn't think like the mind does. It simply feels. It's charged by emotions, and it simply knows. So it either knows or feels, but it does not think. The mind has to, in essence, lead the heart to pursue things. And when you can gain, as is one of the goals of the book, unity between the mind and the heart, then your intention transcends what he calls inner intention, and you gain access to what's called outer intention. Now, the way I conceptualize outer intention is I think of it in terms of God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. You're achieving oneness with the superior power that is greater than anything that you could yourself achieve. Okay, and this relates to, people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. I mean, clearly people like that are on a different frequency. And that's like totally clear to me. They're not living on the same frequency that you or I are. They are on a different frequency, and this is why they have achieved things and can achieve things that are completely remarkable to ordinary humans. And I think it has a lot to do with being able to achieve this unity of mind and heart and accessing the higher power of outer intention, which governs all things, both in the heavens and on earth. And if you can attune yourself to that frequency, then the process of achieving goals becomes just a matter of course. It's not something that you have to struggle with. Whereas if you're involved with what he calls inner intention, that is yourself essentially fighting against the world, which is what most people do. Most people are driven by their mind, and they're making decisions based on how they can manipulate people, places, and things in the physical world to achieve their goals. This is a much more difficult way to achieve your goals. The way I'm suggesting, where you make the goal, assume it's already yours, make the decision to have, and then lessen importance and calmly do the steps necessary to achieve your goal. In this way, you're unifying the heart and mind and accessing a power that is greater than anything that any one of us alone could achieve. Now, I don't know if any of this makes any sense to you. It makes sense to me, but here's my challenge. I challenge you for 1 month to look at everything that happens to you as a positive. Okay? If it goes off your script, ignore it. Accept that everything that is happening in your world is moving toward your goal, even if you don't understand it. Okay? Because the mind does not have the capability of understanding how something is going to manifest or appear in reality. The mind does not have that ability. So try trusting everything that happens as a positive, and really make a big deal about it. Stay positive, on balance. Stay positive with everything that happens. And when something happens that is particularly fortuitous and clearly is showing that you're getting closer to your goal, celebrate it. Go really far out with your emotions and really celebrate it, and then completely ignore things that happen that are off your script and you're viewing as negative. React positively to that too, and let's see what happens. Okay, so try that for a month. I'd love to hear your comments as to how that's working. I'm going to give Brian Scott, I'm going to give him a shout out in the description and a link, and I'll give you the title of the book. You can pick it up. I'm not. There's no affiliate link or anything. I'm not trying to make money off it. And try to do that, and give me your thoughts, and let me know if this was helpful in any way. And I guess that's really all. Stay tuned for business and investment and markets. There's a lot going on. I'm going to be coming out with some more videos about the market, about specific investment picks. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching Uncut Friday. I hope you got some value out of this. And stay tuned to this channel, and please subscribe and like. Stay tuned to this channel for more videos that'll be coming your way very soon.